Timmy. Timmy.
No, it's Jimmy. Blah, blah, blah. Good afternoon, just. I am Jimmy James. We've got a preview for you today as Wisła Krakow are hosted by Leczna. As you can see from the last time out, Wisła did get a 1-0 victory. In that game as well, we lost our keeper, Lakiewicz, to judged to have handballed outside the penalty area, getting the red card. So it wasn't an easy game for Wisła, let's put it that way, but they took all 3 points. However, it's a very different team that we're going to be putting out today as well. So before we go into that, just a quick recap of what's been going on this week, and it's been mixed fortunes for Wisła. We've lost top spot in the league without playing a game. Śląsk Wrocław, they have now taken over. Although we have got 2 games in hand on them, yeah, it's still not good. I want to be on top of that league, which if we can get 3 points today, which I'm expecting, going to be a tight game. It's going to be a tight game because they are definitely what I would call draw specialists. So far this season, Leczna are without a win. However, they've drawn 6 of their games. So it's going to be no easy task. And after the last couple of games that Wisła have, played, we've not been firing on all cylinders. Let's just put it that way. So we had from the last 2 games, we had the loss against Legnica. Last time out, we had the 2-2 draw against Odra Opole. Disappointing. Almost a full house. From that game, we should have taken all 3 points. But we didn't. So there's a lot of talk in the press now about are the wheels falling off Wisła's season. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We've dropped from 2 games, we dropped 5 points after winning our opening 300 games. It felt like that. So, yeah, talk of crisis at the club is a little bit premature. But it's days like today, and with the schedule that we have got coming up, nip it in the bud. Let's get 3 points. Yeah, this is where Patrick Lakiewicz in goal. He was judged to have handballed outside the area. It was tight. And it came from a mistake as well, which made it even more of a bitter pill to swallow. But in the press this week, the supercomputer, make of this what you will. So the Betsy, the supercomputer, has predicted the table for the end of the season. And there's all these numbers and stats and what have you. So Wisła Krakow are projected to win the league with 71.4 points. Obviously, that can't happen. So we'll round it down to 71 points. In second spot, the computer is predicting Śląsk Wrocław on 61 points. So a comfortable lead, according to the computer, for Wisła. I take absolutely no notice of that whatsoever, but that's what the computers are saying. So if stats are your thing, then yeah, Wisła will be getting promoted. It's done and dusted. Not so, as we all know. So Mariusz Jop was Luka Pavlik yesterday, it was, and did an interview with Mariusz Jop. This was what Mariusz Jop has said about what's been going on at Wisła. Let's just get that playing again. There we go. It'll come on. So this is what Mariusz Jopp has said. Wisła failed to win in either of the last two games. We know all this. Jopp said, we have analysis of the opponent. No coach stands still. Everyone improves and changes the game. Wenchner has many options in attack and defence and changes the structure of the game during the match. So you have to react on the pitch. The players received information on what to expect and we worked through it during training sessions. This is what Mariusz Jopp said at the press conference. I think we have many strong positions filled by players who are almost equally skilled. That was in response to a question that's been circling about the media about Wisła's limited squad. So Jopp also said there are positions where we are less well served, and that's obvious. Those players who haven't yet played will get the chance during this busy period of frequent matches. The lineup for this match will be optimal. Later in the Polish Cup, we will rotate the squad, and in the next 3 matches, rotation will be necessary due to the short breaks between the matches. All players will be needed. Wisła will play Sunday's match at 2 p.m. This will be the second time the two teams have faced each other this year. In March, well, we know what's happened. It's at the side of us here. So he is aware, Mariusz Jopp. He isn't a fool. He knows what other teams are doing in respect of changing systems during a match. And this is what Wisła, we need to get better at this. After the last game, this is what Mariusz Jopp said. He was asked, 2 goals from Wisła were not enough to defeat Odra in the 9th round. Mariusz Jopp summed up the match in the press conference. So he said, we are definitely disappointed with the result because when we play at home in front of such fans, we want to win. That's reference to almost a sellout crowd. I think that desire and belief were visible in the team. From my perspective, that's how it looked. I believe we created quite a lot of chances in both halves. I would disagree with that. I don't think we created quite a lot of chances. I think we had... Yeah. I'm trying to think of one that's mentioned later in this report. The chance Duarte had when he was one-on-one was probably one of the best chances. Apart from that, there was shots from range. There was not that many chances. So what match he was looking at, I'm not too sure. Obviously, he's not going to come out and slate the team. He's going to come and put a positive spin on it, and rightly so. But we can afford ourselves the opportunity to be more realistic and probably a little bit more critical. Not just for the sake of it, but just for we've all got eyes. We've all seen what went on. Mariusz Jopp went on to say, we create chances in both halves. Against such a compact defence, it's not easy. Of course, it was frustrating that the opponent, practically from the 7th minute, tried to delay every play. But we must be ready for that as a team. Other sides will surely try it more often. From a defensive perspective, we conceded goals far too easily. The opponent entered our penalty area on just a handful of occasions throughout the game, and yet they scored twice. This is certainly something we're not satisfied with. So, yeah, the first goal came from a mistake. We know that, and you can't legislate for that. No amount of training, no amount of preparation can combat a mistake. So it just happens, and Broder won't be happy when he's when he looks back at that. Also, Apoli, our first goal, it was almost a carbon copy of what Broder did. The keeper for Apoli almost with the exact same mistake. And it was the shot that came in, kind of miscued shot, really, from Lelyveld. Luckily, Biedrzycki, his head was still in the game, and as the ball came to him at a vast rate of knots, he just diverted it goalwards. So they kind of cancel each other out. But the other thing that, before that game with Odra we knew, don't give them corners if you can help it. Don't give them set pieces because of the physicality. That's what you look back at their stats. That's where most of their goals come. That's what we struggled with, and we conceded the 2 goals. But let's not forget as well, later on in this, Mario Shop said about Duarte, if he'd have, hopefully he'd have expected him to put that ball in one-on-one with the keeper. He didn't, and he says that would have won us the game, and it would. But let's not forget, they rattled the woodwork with a shot from outside of the penalty area, did Odra Apole, and Broder was beat. It just hit the base of the post and came out back into play. That much farther to the left-hand side, that's a fantastic goal. You're up against it, and you're not even coming away with a point. So to say that chance for Duarte would have won the game for Wisła, yes, it would. But obviously, there was the other chance at the other end. So on the night, I don't think we can complain with a 2-2 draw, as much as I hate to say it, and you want to be saying, yeah, we played well, and we didn't play well. We definitely did not play well. The last 2 games that Wisła have played, if you look at Ertehala, he has not had good games. He just hasn't, and it's not a coincidence that Ertehala has had 2, let's just say, average games, and we haven't performed as a team. And I'm not saying it's all on Ertehala, but he epitomises what was going wrong with Wisła. Sloppy passes, loose, controlling the ball, not instantly, which then means while you're trying to get the ball under control, you've not got that snappiness of the play, and misunderstandings. And let's be honest, he's only in his 10th game for Wisła today, or 9th game it'll be, won't it? So he's still getting used to how Wisła play and adjusting his own game. The only thing is, he hit the ground running. For me, from the very start of the season, I wasn't overly, I've said this before, I wasn't overly excited when he came to us. All right, he was on a free, not overly excited. I saw him last season, and yeah, he was all right. Just all right. But when he came to Wisła, something clicked with him, and the players clicked with him, and he was just playing the through. But the opponent couldn't cope with him. No, it's almost like he's took a breath, and it's just not firing for him at the minute. I mean, he may come out today now and have a fantastic game. They're not machines, the players, are they? So we can let him off for that. But at some point, he needs to get back to how he started the season off, and hopefully it'll be today. Mario Schott was asked, so plenty of mistakes, confusion, and even more missed opportunities. So he said, yes, there were a lot of them, especially in the second half. Sometimes we waited too long to make a decision and the pass was blocked. I don't know if it's a matter of concentration. It is a matter of concentration. I've said that repeatedly. It's almost like the hard bit gets done, and then the simple end pass, it'll go a yard to the left, or it'll just go out of play, or it's definitely a concentration issue. Sukinicki drives me crazy with some of the things he does. He could be such a good player, and then he'll do something so silly, and it costs us goals as well at times. So it's not like it's just a loose pass. We're giving up goals because of the lack of concentration. Also, Lelyveld seemed a little bit off it as well to me against Odra He didn't seem to be running fantastically well. I don't know if he had cramp. I'm not sure what the issue was, but Lelyveld didn't seem as dynamic down that right-hand side as he has been. Who knows, maybe he was carrying a little bit of a knock. But maybe he was just having an off day. Who knows? But we've got the opportunity now to put it right today. Fingers crossed we will do so. Yop said, I think it's about wanting to speed up the play a bit, and in simple situations we acted too nervously. Of course, those individual errors in build-up, the cheap turnovers, gave the opponent time to rest. From our team's perspective, there were definitely too many of those moments in this match. Yeah, for sure. The introduction of Duda after the break sped up Wisła's play. That was the statement. Maria Shop said, yes, if the opponent defends deep, we want to play quickly with one or two touches. It doesn't always work out. We must also remember that in the first half, the opponent has more strength, works harder, plays more aggressively, and shifts faster. Then it's harder to do that, which is why patience is so important. We know that if the rival spends most of the time defending, there will come a point in the second half or the latter stages of the game when they simply run out of energy, and we will be more able to create chances. It's quite natural that in those first halves, teams that play this way and take time over every throw in, every goal kick, seek fouls to catch their breath. They do it effectively, and I think it's fairly normal. Do you know, I don't think that was the issue for Wisła's performance. I know the referee after the game, especially from Jarosław Królewski, he got a lot of stick for it, to the point where JK was saying he should be dropped down a league for his refereeing. I don't think it was. I've seen a lot worse, let's put it that way, and that is not the reason why Wisła were not firing on all cylinders. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. You made only 2 substitutions. Why? I thought those who were on the pitch looked good enough that there was no need to change them. We didn't see Marko Bozic in the squad. Why? Injury. That's all he said, injury. The missed one-on-one by Federico Duarte will surely be remembered. Had he scored, Wisła could have taken all 3 points. And Maria Shop said, this time he didn't finish it, but apart from that, he had other good moments. Let me remind you, the corner kick that led to our goal came because Duarte fought for the ball with a back heel that won us the set piece. He's a player who always gives everything. He has also a lot of energy, works hard for the team, so of course he won't always be clinical. That was a great chance to score, but he didn't take it. He tried. Sometimes it happens that the goalkeeper makes a very good save too. And the keeper did make a good save. But it's just the body language of Duarte. He didn't go through one-on-one with the keeper. I never felt confident that he was going to put it past him. And it's almost one of them where I get the feeling he just put it on target. So the keeper's got to make a save, and you can't say, oh my God, what a miss if it slides past the far post. But I think it was just a case of let's put it on target and see what happens, and we need to be more clinical than that. Definitely. Just needs that lid. I've got a feeling if we were 2-3-0 up, that he would have put away. He would have put it past the keeper and into the corner. I'm sure of that. But obviously, when the pressure's on, you make sure you get it on target, and if the keeper saves it like he did, well, the keeper saves it. A second match in a row now without a win. Are the demons of the past back? Yop said, I think it's far too early to draw such conclusions. Obviously, we won't win every game. For me, what matters is that the team worked really hard and created chances, and they try to win. Sometimes that's just how it goes. We're disappointed with the result. We wanted to win, but we must accept that we dropped points. The next game ahead of us is a chance to take another 3, and that's what we'll focus on now. And the last little bit was Kaziemka didn't finish the match on the pitch. Why? He just says he was suffering from cramps, so it was difficult for him to continue. That's why he was substituted. Going back to that previous question, a second match in a row without a win. Are the demons back from the past? Well, hang on a minute. We've had one defeat away from home at a well-drilled team in Legnica. So it's not like we went to some rubbing rag team and got turned over 2-0. Legnica are a damn good side. They're a physical side. They're well drilled. They've got things going on off the pitch as well, where there's a buzz around the club and what have you. So to go and lose 2-0, all right, it wasn't a good performance. They outplayed us, they outthought us, and the system that they played, we couldn't cope with. We couldn't break them down. 2-0, we come away with our tail between our legs. But to start saying, are the demons of the past back? So after that, we got a 2-0 draw when we didn't play well, but we still got a point from the game against Odra. So are the demons back? It's just the mentality of, does everybody think that we're going to go out and win every game by 5-0, 4-1, 3-1? No, not at all. And I said before that game, I would have settled for a 1-0 win. The league position for Odra was a false position, as it was when we played against Legnica. I'm not talking about Legnica anyway now. That's done. That's done. But the only thing that you take from that game, and we said it before the Odra game, other teams will take note of the system that Apole played. They go narrow. They move across as a unit. There is no space. The edge of the penalty area, there's no room. And we need to adapt. And I keep saying it, and I will still keep saying it. We need to be able to overload down the flanks, to pull the players out from the middle. Once they get a scrambling defence, that is when space arrives, which is what the likes of Ridado, the likes of Ertahala, the likes of Duarte, the likes of Kuziemka, that is what we can then exploit, rather than teams just sitting in and soaking up the pressure and then hitting us on the break. So we need to find a way of dealing with a team that are going to park the bus, and we can do it. And we'll work as the season goes on. The new players that are coming in, we will adjust, and we'll be able to adjust ourselves in the game. Because once we get that first goal, if we'd got the first goal against Legnica, would have been a very, very different game, because they would have had to have come out. They won't just sit in like they were doing. At some point, they're going to have to come out, and then there will be more space. But most teams who Wisła play this season are going to sit in against them. That's just the nature of the beast when you're playing a team who are at the top of the table scoring goals for fun. Odra, when they came to the R22 last week, they came with a game plan. No playing it out from the back. Get the ball into Wisła's half. Let's win that first ball. Let's get a foothold. So they weren't just prepared to sit in, but the only time they were going into, if you look back at the match, and I've watched it again, the only time they were in Wisła's half was when the keeper was sending it long, or if there was an offside, they weren't playing it about at the back. They were going long, and they were getting the ball into Wisła's half. And that's where their platform came from. They weren't building from the back. And all they did, as soon as Wisła got the ball, they just retreated, get that defensive unit set, a back five, everybody behind the ball, wait for a free kick, wait for the ball to go out of play for a goal, kick, an offside or whatever. And then instead of building it from the back, launching it long, winning that first ball, and that's how their attacks were built. It was such a simple strategy, and they executed it really well. So I think a 2-2 draw was a fair result at the end of the day, considering we didn't play well at all. No cohesion in the passing. That's what you get, and we still managed to score 2 goals. Let's be honest. So, to say are the demons back? Definitely not, and a little bit of a silly question. And I'm surprised that Maria Shop said, I think it's far too early to draw such conclusions. I would have just said, what a silly question, because we lost one game and then we drew. What demons are you talking about? There won't have been many. In fact, we spoke about it with, I think it was Piotr and Agiza in live chat when we were talking about how many times had Wisła had such a good start to a season. you'd have to go back long. We worked out you had to go back ages and ages and ages, long. I'm talking about decades when Wisla were winning sort of 12-0 some games, I think it was, or something like that. But in modern times, Wisla, they won't have had a much better start to a season, if any. In fact, they hadn't, than what they've had in this 25-26 season. So, yeah, Demons are the Demons coming back? Ridiculous question. No, they're not. So if we start looking at today's game, I've got in the description of the video, from the last 5 meetings, Wisla have won 3 of them. Leczna have won 1, and there's been 1 draw. So just looking at the last 3 games now, there's only been 1 goal in the game. So one of them was a friendly, so you can't really take that into account. But for this exercise, we will. So Wisla won 1-0. There was a league match on the 22nd of October last year when Leczna won 1-0. And as we can see here, on the 9th of March, Wisla won 1-0 at home. And it was a little bit of a skewed, we were down to 10 men as well. So they're not going to be high scoring games. I'm expecting today to be quite tight. And they're not playing well at the start of the season, Leczna, but they are getting draws, so they are making themselves difficult to beat. So I think we know what's going to come today for Wisla. They are going to park the bus. They are going to try and hit us on the break. They'll probably do an exact repeat of what Legnica and what Odrupole did. They'll go narrow. They'll crowd the edge of the box. They'll let Kaziemka, if he's playing, go down the right-hand side, Duarte down the left. Any crosses that come in, they'll deal with that, break up the attack. We need to keep the ball down the flanks with Kaziemka. We need Lelyaveld overlapping. If we can, I've not even seen the team lineups yet, but then start drawing players out of position in the middle to cover. Then it's scrambling defence. It's not quite set, and that's when the gaps will appear, and that's what we will exploit, I'm pretty sure. If we don't address today what's happened in the last 2 games, there's something needs to change at Wisla. I'm not on about staff-wise or anything like that. I'm on about tactically. We need somebody, and I'm sure Marius Jop's quite capable, but Marius Jop and the training staff need to start being... He's aware that teams can change systems during the game. He spoke about it. We need to be able to do that as well. We need to be able to do it, because if we get that first goal, then you can expect a second and a third, because the opposition are going to have to come out. There will be more space, and space is what we need. Crowding the edge of the penalty area, that's all well and good. But that's great. When you're behind, you're just dooming yourself pretty much to at least a 1-0 defeat. So you may as well start moving out and trying to get your attacking play, trying to push Wisla back, get a foothold in the game. And as they're pushing, then we can get around the flanks. There's more space in the middle. The central midfielders will be more attack-minded as opposed to sitting in and just defending the back 5. So we need to get that first goal. It's going to be a real interesting game today. One good bit of news as well for Wisla, because Kaziemka has played so many games now, he's now signed a new contract until, I think it's 2030. Here we are. The contract with 19-year-old winger Kaziemka has been automatically extended. His current deal now runs until June the 30th, 2027. I thought it was longer. Than that. I must have misread it. Kaziemka joined Wisla Krakow in 2021. Since the start of the season, he's been a key player in the White Stars lineup. Strong form, proving deserves his place, yada, yada, yada. The automatic extension does not rule out talks with an even longer contract for the talented White Star player, with negotiations currently underway. So, that is good news for Wisła. It's good news for Kaziemka. As long as he can keep this progression going, he's going to be a star of the future. For one so young, he's far from the finished article, but he's not going to be at 19, is he? But when you look at the players around him, he's certainly going to get the guidance that he needs. And if that, and now he's getting recognition for the Polish national team, all right, under 20s. Is it under 20s, under 21s? I can't remember. I think it might be under 20s. But he's having a really good season. Let's hope he can stay injury free. And he should go a long way. So today, join me at 1:30 in the UK for live coverage of Wisla Krakow away at, it says it's Leczna in English, but it's Łęcza in Polish. So join us for that one. Live chat will be open. We'll see how we go. Hopefully we can come away with all 3 points and get back to the top of the league, because we're now in second. That was the other thing I wanted to say. We have had that good start to the season. However, as things stand, we are now in second place. Śląsk Wrocław are now above us by 1 point, although they have played 2 games in hand. However, we are in second. We need to get back to top spot. We've got a good goal difference as well at the minute on plus 21, which is by far the best goal difference in the league. So hopefully we can increase that today, get back to top spot. We've got a lot of games coming one after the other now. So, are we going to take 3 points in every one of those games? Probably not. Hopefully, yes. We've got a cup game in there as well. So busy time for Wisla Krakow. Exciting times as well. Let's think positive and let's come away today with all 3 points. I am Jimmy James. You've been watching Catch It Live First. Join me today, 1:25 GMT. Go through the team lineups quickly and then let the fun and games begin. The party poppers are at the ready. Hoping we're going to need plenty of them today. I'll catch you later.